Hey, what's up everyone? Chris here from Bricklayers Union, and in this video I'm going to share with you my conversion of the black limousine from the LEGO Creator Expert Palace Cinema set 10232 from 2013. So, let's check it out. Now, back in 2013 when the Palace Cinema was released, it was either the 7th or the 8th modular building released by LEGO, depending on whether or not you consider the Market Street building a true modular. Now, regardless of whether or not you consider the Palace Cinema the 7th or 8th modular in total, it was only the 2nd modular building to include a companion vehicle to complement the building itself, with the fire brigade being the 1st. Now, I rarely have any complaints about the designs of LEGO buildings and LEGO vehicles. Most times they're really well done, but in the case of the black limousine from the Palace Cinema set, the design and the build leaves a lot to be desired, to put it kindly. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some really good design elements to the limo, but when taken as a whole, it just looks off to me. Now, at first, I just chalked this up to it being an older design, but when I compared it to some of the other vehicles from 2013, like some vehicles from the LEGO City theme, which look really good, there really is no excuse for this limo to be done so poorly. So, I decided to try my hand at redesigning it to see if I can make some improvements. Now, since it is a limousine, the first thing I did was to stretch the wheelbase from 6 studs to 8 studs, which allowed me to make it a 4-door instead of a 2-door. Now, technically, a vehicle's wheelbase is measured from the center of the front wheel to the center of the rear wheel, but when I refer to the wheelbase, I'm actually referring to the length of the rocker panel between the front and rear wheels. And speaking of wheels, the original wheels, along with the original fenders, are probably my biggest complaint about this thing, so they definitely had to go. I mean, the wheels are just way too small, and the arch bricks used for the fenders leave these huge gaps in the wheel wells, so I changed to some city fenders and to the newer style city wheels in gold. Next, I wanted to build up the sides a little bit. The original sides just looked too thin and too flimsy to me, so I gave it a set of running boards and I built up the rocker panels a little bit to raise up the doors to make it a little more solid. And by raising the sides, it also allowed me to change the body lines of the rear fender as well. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are a few design elements to the original that I really like. And when looking at the front end, you'll see that I kept it pretty much the same as the original, except for adding some gold accents like a gold grille, bumper, and hood ornament. And I also added some gold headlight bezels and some gold badges on the sides of the hood as well. One change I did make up front was to replace the windshield with this hinged version with the printed wipers on it. Now, moving around back, like the front, you'll see that I kept it pretty much the same as the original. Again, with the exception of adding a gold bumper and some gold taillight bezels, which actually help brighten up the trans red taillight studs a little bit. When looking at the interior, the first thing I did was to change it to tan to brighten it up compared to the original drab dark gray. Next, I gave it a proper set of front seats built from some Palisade bricks to give it a plush, comfy look. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't use Palisade bricks for the rear seats because they just stuck up a little bit too much and it just didn't look quite right to me. And I also added some headrests to all of the seats built using some 1x1 cheese slopes mounted on 1x2 jumpers. And finally, when looking at the dash, I installed a stereo and I also changed the steering wheel to black. Alright, that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by giving me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do. That's always greatly appreciated. And if you have a minute before you go, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of the changes I made. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to Doug and Allie, Brooke, Quinn, and little baby Olivia. And on that note, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.